Well, good morning, everyone. We'll get started here in a couple minutes. But before we get started, I just wanted to start off with some housekeeping. You'll notice in the GoToWebinar, you'll see the questions tab. Please use that to ask any questions. And at the end of this webinar, I will answer those questions as I can at the end. The other thing, if you need to contact me, I have my email address at the end of this. Please use that email address to ask questions. And if it is warrants a phone call, I will call you back. At this time, I cannot take phone calls. There's just too many. So please send emails as you need questions answered. And if I can answer it over email, I will. If not, then I will call you at a specific time that we set. Okay. So we will get started. I want to thank everyone for coming this morning. We also have 2 more webinars set up in February, and you're more than welcome to join those as well. After this, video will be posted on YouTube if you would like to watch the video of this exact program. So today we will start with using ePlan to submit a Tier 2 report and how we do that. My name is Matthew Marshall. I'm the ePlan State Tier 2 Coordinator, and I will be giving you this presentation. This presentation is based on all the states that request ePlan as a Tier 2 reporting software, but you can use it in other states. This is not for one state specific. So at the end, if you have state-specific questions, I can forward them to the specific states that you would like to talk to, if you would like. So, moving on. Why are we here? 40 CFR Part 37010. Who must comply with the hazardous chemical reporting requirements? It states that you must report if OSHA requires your facility to prepare or have available MSDS, now the SDS, for a hazardous chemical, and if either of the following condition is met. Okay, so if OSHA requires you to have an SDS on site, sorry about that. Okay, 40 CFR 37010. Who must comply? You must report if OSHA requires your facility to prepare or have available the SDS for a hazardous chemical, and if either of the following conditions are met. Okay, and that is if you have an EHS chemical at your facility at any one time in the amount equal to or greater than 500 pounds, which is approximately 55 gallons, or the threshold planning quantity, whichever is least. This is for a Tier 2 report. So if you have 500 pounds or the threshold planning quantity of an EHS, an extremely hazardous substance, and you can find the EHS chemicals on the EPA's list of lists. If it is a non-EHS chemical at your facility at any one time in the previous year, so from January 1st, 2017 to December 31st, 2017, if you had it at any one time, equal to or greater than 10,000 pounds. So let me say that one more time, because I can't answer specific questions about the chemical you have on your site. I can only tell you what the federal government requires. Remember that the local, state, LEPC, and fire department may have different amounts. Like Wake County, North Carolina, is 55 gallons of any chemical. So you must contact your local, state, LEPC, and fire department if there are any different amounts. So I'll say this one more time. If you have a chemical at any one time on site and it is an EHS at 500 pounds or the threshold planning quantity. An example of a threshold planning quantity for chlorine is 100 pounds, sulfuric acid 500 pounds, anhydrous ammonia 500 pounds. A non-EHS chemical at your facility at any one time greater than or equal to 10,000 pounds, such as diesel fuel at about 1,200 gallons, it equal to about 10,000 pounds, and you must submit at any one time. That is stored on site. So, how do we log in? We log in using erplan.net. You can also type in tier2.erplan.net. But if you go to erplan.net, you will see the login page for your Tier 2 report. Click on the online Tier 2 e-submit for your submitter, facility managers, and business owners as the login page. When I click on that, excuse me, it comes up to my login page. There's a few things on here I will talk about under the important notes, but first I just want to tell you at the top, if you have comments or questions, you can use the Contact Us button, and that will send us an email, and you can talk to us. Also, at the bottom of the page, you'll also see Contact Us. Okay, so there's a couple places that you can click on to do the Contact Us if you lose my email address. So important notes. Number 1, completed Tier 2 forms are due March 1st, 2018. Say that one more time. Their completed Tier 2 form is due March 1st, 2018. For reporting year 2017, there is an administrative charge, which was in the email that I had sent. You can also click on the administrative charge button on your important notes, and it'll take you to the list to see if you will have to pay or not. Number 3 is our webinars. If you would like to join the next webinar, which is February 5th at 1 p.m., I believe, or 1:30 p.m., and also February 19th, also in the afternoon. Number 4, 2017 year, 9 states. 9 states except E-Plan. Excuse me. Those 9 states are Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Montana, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee. Alabama is voluntary. Florida is voluntary. Georgia, you have to use E-Plan. Mississippi is voluntary. Montana, you have to use E-Plan. New York, it's suggested to use E-Plan. North Carolina, you have to use E-Plan. South Carolina, suggested, but most everyone uses E-Plan, and Tennessee is suggested. There are several counties, such as Warren County, you must use E-Plan, Warren County, Ohio, but also Chesapeake City, Virginia, Hopewell City, Virginia, Patrick County, Pittsylvania County, Richmond City, Smythe County, Virginia Beach City, and Waynesboro City, Virginia, also accept E-Plan as electronic form of Tier 2 reports. If any questions, please come back to this page and it's there. If you have any questions on who gets Tier 2 reports, there are a couple contacts under number 6. That'll take you to the state pages as well as a Contact Us button for number 5. Number 7, the E-Plan Online Tier 2 training video. That is the video from January 8th. If you click the Here button to watch. This January 22nd video will be up shortly. So if you miss anything that I've talked about today, you can also go back and watch it there. All right, on the right-hand side, you'll see a sign in. This is where you have an Access ID. The Access ID goes to the company that you work for. It does not go to the person that works for the company. Say that one more time. The Access ID goes with the company and facility, not the person, because we have multiple facilities out there, but they change people yearly and who reports. So if your company last year submitted and the person no longer is there, you don't have the Access ID, please use the Contact Us button to get that Access ID. If you have your Access ID but you forget your password, you can type it in there. Click the Forgot Password button. Oh, sorry. Click the Forgot Password button. You can get your password. If your company has never submitted a Tier 2 report, that is only the time that you use the Create an Account. That is if your company has never submitted a Tier 2 report. If it may or you don't know, please contact us and we will get that information to you. Moving forward, after I log in using my Access ID, I am able to retrieve my old data. As you can see under this facility ID, I have submitted from 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If you would like to see a previous year's information, this is where you would do it. You would click on the year that you would like to see, and you're able to get that information. So if you would like to see what you submitted in 2010, if it's there, that's where you would click. Now, moving to 2017, I need to copy my data from a previous year. Since I'm missing 2016 on this filing, I would go from under the copy data, and since 2016 is not there, I would have to click on 2015. And then I would have to click on 2017 is my 2. So you see 2015, step 1. Step 2 is 2017. And then I click step 3, which is copy data. Once I copy the data, you'll see on the left-hand side that the current filed years, 2017, is there, as well as under the copy data, it says copying complete. Click this, so you see the 2017. If you would like to import Tier 2 reports, if you have a zip file or a T2S file, you would use that third button on the right-hand side called Import Zip/T2S, and this is where you can upload those files. So now I'm going to click on my 2017, and it takes me to my online filing home. This is where I have all the information for all the facilities that I've submitted Tier 2 reports and that have been copied over. As you can see, I have my cutting edge planning and training facility. I have my contact information and my chemicals. The chemical is circled in the orange. That means it's an EHS chemical, and that needs to be filed as well, or it'll come up and file it as well. We'll go from the top where it says search existing facilities. If you have multiple facilities under your online filing home, this is where you can actually search your city or street address or county to find it. So if you have multiple facilities, 1,000, 2,000 facilities, you don't have to scroll down. You can just search in that box of where you would like to find that information. On the right hand side, if I need to add a new facility, I would click add a new facility. If I need to delete a facility because in 2017 I had no chemicals at any one time during the year, I need to delete a facility. That's where you can click delete a facility by checking a box here in the delete file and then delete the facility. Under filing status, you can see that this facility is not filed, meaning I am not compliant at this time. Okay. So the first place I want to take you to is our facility name. Under the facility name, I would click on just cutting edge planning and training, and it takes me to my facility information page. This is where I can go through and validate and make sure all my information is correct. My facility name, company name. Under facility notes, this is where if your facility closed or you would like to give information to the first responder on your facility, you can use the facility notes section to add information. So you can say July 1st, 2017, facility closed. You can add all different types of facility notes there, which are transferred over to the first responder, and they're able to see that information. Under my physical address and mailing address, we put that information in there. As I scroll down further, you'll see location. This is where my latitude and longitude is, and I'm able to validate my latitude and longitude by clicking on validate. And I can move the flag that's on the Google map to the right place in order to get the correct latitude and longitude. The USNG, you don't have to worry about because that is automatically made from your latitude and longitude, which USNG stands for US National Grid. The next question down is manned and number of occupants. This is the maximum number of occupants at any one time at that facility. The question is always asked of, well, we have 2 shifts. I have 10 on the first shift, 10 on the second shift. Do I just put 10? No. If they're there at the same time, you will put 20, because Murphy's Law says if something bad's going to happen, everybody's going to be there. So we want to make sure the first responders know that the facility is there and how many people. Next is the type of facility that you are. If you fall under EPGRA 302, meaning you meet a threshold of EHS, you must click yes there. If you're a 311, 312, if you fall under EPGRA 313, which is the TRI, you must click yes there. And if you're an RMP facility, you must click yes there. Under submission, this is the person that certifies the submission that is being done. If it is not the person that's doing it, that is okay. You type their name in here. If it is you, the person that's doing it, you type that as well. So the signature is the person that is certifying this submission. If you have questions on that, please email me. I click Save and Continue and go to the next page. Under the next page is my facility identification. Dun & Bradstreet. Under my Dun & Bradstreet ID type, I have to have a Dun & Bradstreet. Now, if I don't have a Dun & Bradstreet, under the ID value, I have to click NA. So if I don't have a Dun & Bradstreet number, then I click NA. If I don't know my Dun & Bradstreet number, I must find that information. This is something that the EPA wants, and they can actually fine you for. So Dun & Bradstreet, if you don't have one because your company doesn't have one, usually government doesn't have a Dun & Bradstreet, you must put NA. But if your company has a Dun & Bradstreet and you don't know it, you must find out what it is. The next is our NAICS code. They have changed once again this year. So please go in and update the ID value under the NAICS code. This is also where if you are a TRI facility, you must put your TRI number. If you are an RMP facility, you must put your RMP number. Now, some numbers may automatically be in there, like your state ID number. You're not allowed to change that. You don't have to change it. You can't change it. But that will be here as well. So I will go through this information. Dun & Bradstreet must put an ID value in there if your company has a Dun & Bradstreet. If your company does not have a Dun & Bradstreet, put NA. If you don't know your company's Dun & Bradstreet, make sure you find it out. Your NAICS code, please look it up and enter the new number. If not, at the validation process, I will talk about it a little bit more. Also, add your TRI number if you are a TRI, and if you're an RMP, add your RMP number. If you don't know if you're a TRI or RMP, please find out, and you can put that information in here. When I click next, it goes to my state fields. Depending on the state that you're in, you may have to answer questions. Please answer them as appropriate as you feel that you can. Under the Documents tab, this is where that you can upload documents to the Tier 2 report, such as a site plan. And please check with your local authority to find out what information is needed on a site plan. This is also where you can upload your safety data sheet. So you would do all fields are mandatory underneath. File type, it's a file. File category, it's an SDS. file, you choose your file, and then you can put a description if you would like. So SD under the file description, you can put SDS for methyl ethyl death, and it'll upload that data for you. Once you're done clicking upload at the bottom and your information is there, like a site plan, you can go on to the next tab, which is our next button at the bottom, and add contact. If you need to add a contact, this is where you can add your contact. Remember, there must be at least 2 contacts for a tier 2 report. That is, I'm sorry, 3 contacts. My wrong. 3 contacts: owner operator, emergency contact, as well as a tier 2 information contact. Can they all be the same? Yes, but you must submit it as 3 different. And if you are a 302 facility, you have to do 1 more emergency contact. So you will have 4. So your tier 2 reports, owner operator, emergency contact, tier 2 information. You add that information in here. Once you add that information in, it'll ask you what type of phone numbers you will put in. You have to have a 24-hour emergency contact in. You can have multiple numbers, but you must have a 24-hour number for your emergency contact. Once I select my 24-hour, I click next, and this is where I can associate that person, that contact, with a facility. So I can put that person at multiple facilities if need be by checking the boxes on the left-hand side next to the select all facilities, and then I can select the contact type for those facilities. So it could be my emergency contact, could be my tier 2, or it could be my owner operator, using the drop downs that you're able to add those. Once I check those boxes, I click add, and you'll see it populate on the front page. Now, as I move forward, I'm going to next, since I'm at my contacts, I'm going to go to my chemical list. At the top, you'll see chemical list. When I click on chemical list, it takes me to my chemical information. Now, since my chemical information is already in tier 2, I will scroll down. When I scroll down, I get to my new physical hazards, health hazards. To get this information, please go to your SDS. Check the boxes that are appropriate related to your SDS. You will have to do this for every chemical you have on your tier 2 report. There was no way to transfer physical hazards or health hazards from a specific chemical from previous years. So since this is new, put out by the EPA this year to go to the GHS system, you must check them yourselves. So under the chemical list, you can do your physical hazards and your health hazards, and something must be checked. This information you will get from your SDS sheet that you have, your SDS. The storage location, same as before. You have to do your storage type, your storage pressure, temperature, and location. Under the location, you can use that as you previously put in your site plan, and you can correlate location with your site plan. So if your location is building 3, and that's how you marked it on your site plan, then you can just keep building 3 under the location. Excuse me. Under the mixture components, this is where you can do your mixtures. You can also do your maximum amount codes. This is where if your percentages are different, you can do your max code instead of your percentages. You can put your max in there. So if you have something that a maximum of 10% and maximum of 95% on others because they mix, you can do that here. So it can add up under the maximum code to over 100. But you would add your CAS number, your component, and EHS will automatically check on this as well. Okay, so once I'm through my information, I click my validate button. That's up there at the top right. All right. I click my validate button. Once I click my validate button, it will show my validation process. If I did not click my physical hazards or health hazards, I can automatically click them on here and it will fill in the information. You will not have to go back to that page to fill it in. You can just click validate and it'll fix that information directly for your chemical. So this one you can see diesel fuel, I didn't check anything. I would go in, check my flammable because that's what it is. And then I would move on. My health would be not otherwise classified, I believe. I could be wrong. But then I would be able to be done with that and it would be, the error would be taken care of. But you could see the top one where it says cutting edge has a problem with my NAICS code. My entered description is a firefighter training school, but my official description is other technical and trade schools. So it's different for 2017, so I must go in and edit it. So I would click on the edit NAICS in blue. That would take me back to the page where the NAICS code is, and I would click edit on that, and then I'd fix that information. Once I get that information, I will get a validation. As you can see at the bottom, facility passed all checks, but my ABC Chemical Company did not. So since I passed all checks on that one, I will then click on upload data to ePlan. When I click my upload data to ePlan, it takes me to my next page. This, you could see that my validation process has already been completed for my cutting edge, not my ABC. I check the box next to it and click submit. Now, if I print my PDF here, it will still say draft because I am not filed. So you can print it, but you don't have to at this point. So you click your submit button by checking next to cutting edge, click my submit button, and it takes me to my payment page. Now, depending on what state you are in, depends on what this page looks like. North Carolina and Florida takes you to their questions that you must answer, and then it takes you to their payment page. All others will take you here, except Montana and South Carolina. Once we click submit, then you are done. You don't have to pay. So we will get to this point, depending on what we want to do, whether we credit card or check. We click on that, and then it'll take us to our invoice page. We can download an invoice, pay by credit card, and as you can see, it's still not filed. The Tier 2 report is not filed until ePlan receives payment. Once ePlan receives payment, then your Tier 2 report is filed. So if you need to send a check, you must, the check must be received at University of Texas before March 1st in order for you to be in compliance. You are not in compliance until the check is received. If you need to use a credit card, please do that. It's much easier, and then it's automatically filed at that point. At that point, once it's filed, that would be to the state. You must contact your local state government. Your local government, your LEPC, and your fire department to determine how they would like to see it. Some fire departments like ePlan, and most do, so please contact them to make sure that you can get the information from them. If you have any questions, here is my email address, and I will leave this up here while I answer the questions that have come in to make sure I don't leave any out. Okay. It says, will these fields be pre-populated if we are copying the info form from previous year? Yes, that is correct. What is the difference between EPCRA 302, 311, and 12 from the previous page? Okay, so EPCRA 302 is more emergency information. So depending on the chemicals that you have and the amounts, you may fall into a 302. So on that page, please click the more information, and it will take you to that. 311 is if you change something in the middle of the year, and 312 is your Tier 2 report. So all that information is on the right-hand side. click more information, and it'll take you to the information that you need. What is the pounds, gallons for gasoline for reporting? You have to look that up and do the math. I'm sorry. Is Dun & Bradstreet number site specific, or is the same for my facility at multiple locations? It's the same as your facility at multiple locations. It's a company's Dun & Bradstreet number. For a facility required to have an SDS available under OSHA, must they have the new version? Yes, SDSs are required now under OSHA. Review the max code again. Okay, so under your mixtures, the max code is used to determine if you have a range of chemical. So there's sometimes that you may have 10% sulfuric and 90% water, and that 10% sulfuric may go up to 15, down to 5. So in your max code, you would put 15%, and water, you would do 95%, because if the sulfuric is down to 5 and water is up to 95, and then that's where your max code. So you would say 15 to 95. Max code of sulfuric would be 15. Max code for the water would be 95. So it would add up to more, but that's okay because it is a code, not a specific. Does an owner-operator contact have to be an individual, or can it be a company? It can be a company. Where's the best place to get updated SDS online? We have many facilities, but do not have their SDSs. The manufacturer, where you buy your chemicals, should provide your SDSs to you. If someone contacted or someone else filed last year, how do I get my ID number? Email me. My email is on the page right now, m.marshall@utdallas.edu. How do you know if a substance is an EHS? Is it listed on the SDS? Some SDSs do, but if you don't know, go to the EPA's website and you can Google EPA list of lists. Okay. What do I have to enter for filing fees? Depending on your state of where you're submitting, it is a different price. Does the submitter need to reside at the facility being reported? No, the submitter does not need to reside, but you should have at least a contact there that has information on the chemicals that's at the site. That is your emergency contact. Your emergency contact is someone that is familiar with the chemicals and the processes at that site. So unless your security guard knows everything going on there, it needs to be someone that is familiar with the information or with the chemicals at that site. What is the correct way to report sulfuric acid for batteries? I cannot answer that question. I'm very sorry, but I can't answer that question. If I submit reports for multiple facilities, can I pay for them individually? Yes. Please email me and we can walk you through that process, Gregory. If we have products from multiple manufacturers with same chemicals, do we need to upload SDS, multiple SDSs from each? No, just one. We have had a consultant filing. Please email me, Julie, and we can assist you with making sure that you get the correct information. We don't want them to have an ID with multiple companies, but we want to make sure that your facility. So Julie, if you can email me all the facility addresses, name of the company and facility addresses, we can make sure that we put them under one access ID for you. Where do we find the new NAICS code? It actually will be in the drop down on the site itself. So if you go to the NAICS page where I showed you, click edit and then use the drop down. So I will show you that very quickly, Lizzie. So here, nope, not there. Here, when you come to this page under NAICS on the right hand side, click edit, and then where the drop down is will automatically self-populate the new description. And then make sure you save and continue. If we are under the reporting threshold, do we still have to fill out this report? No. If you are under the reporting threshold, you do not need to fill this report out. Okay, that is all the questions that I have right now. I want to thank you. This webinar will be at our YouTube page. So please go to our YouTube page, subscribe to our YouTube E-Plan, and you can get the information that was provided during this webinar at that time. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at any time, and I'll bring my email address up one more time. Please email me. I will answer your questions as best I can or forward them to the appropriate person that can answer them as well, and we will make sure that you get the information. My contact information is m.marshall@utdallas.edu. Thank you again, and have a great day.